There are bizarre abilities that only a small percentage of humans can do. I'm not talking about Wonder Woman or Spider-Man kind of superpowers. I'm talking about the simple acts that were perceived to be impossible, although not entirely, since 1% of people can actually do them. These are acts that defy the phrase practice makes perfect because you won't grasp it. Also, if you try too much, you might end up in the ER. So what makes these people so different from the rest of us? Here are 10 things only 1% of people can do. If you want to get in on some more fun and wacky content, then tickle that subscribe button. We keep it fresh, unique, informative, and fun. Self-generated tickling. I bet you've tried to tickle yourself to see if you will laugh. However, 99% of the time you are probably faking the laughter. But if you do genuinely laugh from tickling yourself, then you are in the 1% population that has this ability. We all know our ticklish spot that makes us go wild. However, most people depend on others to tickle them so that they can laugh. Tickling engages two parts of your brain, which are the somatosensory cortex and the anterior cingulate cortex. Two parts control touch and emotion. The reason why we react to others tickling us is because the regions in the cortex that process sensation are inactive if we tickle ourselves. Our brains recognize our actions and predict the sensory outcomes. This prediction then reduces our sensation. People with schizophrenia can laugh their lungs out if they try tickling themselves. Schizophrenia is a mental disorder that indicates a breakdown in the relationship between behavior and emotion and reverses actions and feelings, among other contradictory sensory consequences. The primary reason is schizophrenics have problems identifying their actions. So they laugh because their brains can't predict if the touch is alien or self-generated. However, deluded thinkers also have a reduced sensory identification to self-generated actions. Next time you try to tickle yourself because you are having a dull day and it does not work, don't get frustrated. There are other ways to feel better, I'm sure.
But I told you to stop.
Opening your eyes while sneezing. You've probably heard the biggest myth of the century. If you sneeze with your eyes open, they will pop out. You may believe this because eyelids are not strong and powerful like other muscles in your body. The rectus and oblique muscles firmly hold your eyes in place. You may think that this is the reason why you are afraid of sneezing with your eyes open. The truth is that it is almost impossible to sneeze with your eyes open because of an involuntary muscle reflex. The same way it is impossible to sneeze in your sleep. There is a sneeze center in our brain that controls the involuntary muscle movement when you sneeze. There are many theories about why we can't sneeze with our eyes open. Sneezing stimulates various involuntary muscle movements in your body. People who experience stress incontinence may have urine leakages when sneezing. Your eyes and nose are linked by nerves known as cranial nerves. When you sneeze, the raging stimulation passes up one nerve and comes down using the other. The movement triggers the blinking effect when you sleep. I guess we will never really know why most of us sneeze with our eyes closed. But if you want to try sneezing with your eyes open, have 911 on your speed dial just in case your eyes actually do decide to pop out. Gleeking. Just when you thought you had seen everything that can be trendy, gleeking hits our playgrounds. Most people right now try to gleek, but only 1% of people can gleek correctly. Sometimes you can accidentally gleek when you yawn. The secret behind gleeking is stimulating your salivary glands to produce more saliva. You can use hard candy or spicy food to boost the production of saliva. Those who can gleek without straining just push their tongue on the side and let the tube from the submandibular gland to do the spraying. However, you can try gleeking in front of a mirror by stimulating saliva production and applying pressure on your submandibular gland with your tongue. People with the ability to gleek can be quite mischievous because it is a silent act. Gleeking is not regarded as rude or bad conduct like spitting because not many people can do it. However, don't try gleeking when people are around because you might end up spitting on them, and that would be trouble for you, most of the time. Licking your elbow. I know some things that I would want to lick on my body, and my elbow is not one of them. Okay, maybe I just envy the people who can lick their elbow. The level of flexibility here is insane. I know right now you are doing it to prove me wrong, but if you are not among the 1% category, then there are two outcomes for you. You'll break your neck trying to elongate it or dislocate your shoulder. The few people who have joint hypermobility can easily lick any part of their body, including elbows. However, not everyone with joint hypermobility can lick their elbows. It can be fun to lick our elbows, but people with joint hypermobility suffer a lot from dislocation, fatigue, and even recurrent injuries. The other group that has fun licking their elbows are babies. This is because their bones aren't fully calcified and tendons are still flexible. So don't be jealous when you see your child licking their toes and elbows and your rigid ones can't allow you. They will have the same frustration as you in a few years. People find creative ways to finesse around licking their elbow, but it is just impossible for the majority. People with short arms and extremely long necks and tongue can stand a chance, but they also could have the rare elbow licking gene. If it's too tough, why not just take a picture of your elbow and lick it? That counts, right? Swallow and breathe simultaneously. When you hear people say that you can train your mind to do anything, this is not one of those things. Imagine how choking on your saliva feels like. I don't want to imagine choking on bread particles stuck in my trachea. Our bodies are configured in a certain way that breathing and eating are not supposed to meet. However, when done accidentally, this forbidden love affair between swallowing and breathing take place, you will choke. Some people will find their food coming straight out of their nose. Gross, I know. We have two passages. One that allows food to reach our guts, and the other that helps us keep us alive long enough to enjoy the next meal, the one that facilitates breathing. The epiglottis is at the center of these two passages, and it prevents food and liquids from reaching our lungs. The motor coordination between swallowing, sucking, and breathing starts from birth. Healthy adults use a swallow-breathe phase, which is developed by the age of 12 months old. The 1% of people who can breathe and swallow simultaneously are the ones that are fixed before they fully develop the skill. Most of them are also slow in developing other skills and may need special attention. Wiggling your ears. Is there a body part people are not trying to move? Although, trying and doing are two different things. We have seen all the varieties of twerking, but now there's a new kid on the block. Wiggling your ears is the trendy body-shaking part these days. Unfortunately, only 1% of the human race can actually do it. Wiggling your ears has a genetic attachment to it. So, if you can wiggle your ears, you better start thanking your ancestors for the ear-wiggling gene. The hereditary trends of this trait are not clear, but we know some families can wiggle their ears and others can only wiggle them with their fingers. The muscles in your ears, known as the auricular muscles, are responsible for this bizarre ear movement. Long ago, before mutation and evolution, human beings actually had strong ear-wiggling skills. I guess that now, since we don't need to survive near animals that want to eat us, the trait just sort of faded away for most of us. At least that's what my history and biology teacher told me. When you don't use something, it becomes dormant or extinct. There's a sneaky way of wiggling your ears, however. You can raise your eyebrows or try to smile, and the muscle movement can move your ear. However, this is not the ear wiggling we're talking about here. I'm talking about some primitive level stuff here, like pure primate. Try and move only the tip of your ears without making some funny or scary facial expressions. If you can, let us know in the comments below and maybe we can all point and laugh at you. I mean, with you. Fist in your mouth. There are so many ways to become famous, and breaking my jaw will not be one of them. People who can comfortably put their fist in their mouths are completely rare. So the next time you are following tutorials on how to put a fist in your mouth, know that you better have a feeding plan in case your jaw breaks.
I better polish those jaw wires for tomorrow.
Trying to put a fist in your mouth has a sexual connotation. However, most people cannot even get a quarter of their fist in their mouth, but babies can put their fist in their mouth because it is small. When the babies are teething, their gums itch, and they need something to rub their gums. Also, a very minimal population of women can do this trick because they have small fists. So if you're a man and you are busy trying to do this, just stop, because it will not work if you don't have the gene. When we yawn, our jaw and mouth spontaneously stretch to their limits. This is a perfect time to look at the size of your mouth in the mirror before trying something that might knock out your teeth. The length of your teeth is also another factor. Your lips may lie to you that you have a big mouth, but your teeth reduce the diameter. So if you're looking for a party trick, try something in mixology instead, because this can take you to the wall of shame. Raise an eyebrow. Raising eyebrows is not a problem. In fact, I can keep them raised all day without a hassle. Now, the problem comes when you want me to lift one eyebrow without even slightly moving the other. Who does that? Apparently, there is a group of people who can do it without even flinching. Primates raise an eyebrow as a sign of threat. Human beings raise eyebrows and wink because it's suggestive and, I guess, cool? The problem is people who can raise an eyebrow make what we do seem like child's play. The good news is that only a handful of them exist. Most people who can raise an eyebrow have the ability to manipulate their muscles. More often than not, they can only manage one side better than the other. However, some people claim that you can train your muscles to be able to lift one eyebrow. You can start by holding one eyebrow with your hand and raising the other. You have to do this frequently so that you get the right muscle movement. You might be practicing a lot of crazy facial expressions, and you might even get a cramp or two in your face. But eventually, you'll be an eyebrow raising expert in no time. Maybe. But I guess there are much more important things you could be doing instead, like getting out of the house more often. Paralyzed finger trick. I don't think I like paralyzing any part of my body. However, when you are busy trying to come out of paralysis, there is just 1% of people who do not even get paralyzed. The tissues in the human body are carefully connected to each other. However, once one part of the body that shares the same tendon goes to sleep, the other one will definitely follow suit. Try this. Put your open palm on a flat surface. Bend your middle finger in such a way that its knuckle is in contact with the hard surface. Then try lifting the remaining fingers. You will notice that you can lift your thumb, pinky finger, and your index finger. The ring finger, however, doesn't move an inch. The 1% who can lift all of the fingers know how to manipulate the tendons in these fingers. The biological secret behind this is that our hands have independent tendons. However, the ring finger and the middle finger share connective tissue. It makes it hard for you to move the ring finger. This is a fun activity to try at home, although just know in advance that if things don't go your way, don't get frustrated. Go play outside and just forget you ever tried. Tongue tricks. Your tongue is the most flexible part of your body because it does not have any bones. That means we should be able to do anything we want with it. Apparently, this is not usually the case because there are some who are better at playing with their tongues than others. Get your mind out of the gutter, will ya? Tricks such as tongue rolling are associated with genetics. However, some tongue tricks are unique personal traits. There are some people with longer tongues than others, and there are individuals with a split tongue. People with a split tongue are rare, and it is amazing what they can do with their tongues. Some people with split tongues can independently move each side of the tongue. Have you ever tried touching your nose using your tongue? It is harder than most people think. You might slap yourself when you see the facial expressions that you make while trying to touch your nose with your tongue, because holy moly, do you look ridiculous. Most of the individuals who can do this have a connective tissue disorder. Others simply have longer tongues than the rest of us, but the taste buds are still the same. I guess people with shorter tongues or who are tongue-tied will have to look for other unique ways to impress, since you can't exactly train your tongue to be longer. Well, we hope you didn't dislocate your shoulder while trying to impress your buddies by attempting to lick your elbow. If you did, was it worth it? Let us know in the comments if you're part of the 1% that can do one of these cool tricks with your body. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe for more wacky content every day.